Hey Scorpio, let's bring a little ambiance in. That's better. Looks like in your reading, stay tuned because we've got a lot you're juggling. We've got romance and relationships that's interesting. And then we also have life and things brought forward to you to challenge you, but you're going to handle it because you're sitting strong. So stay tuned. We're going to talk all about it. Hey Scorpio, sorry to keep you waiting. I had actually done your reading and was uploading it, edited, put all the transitions in, and Star's running around. She's obviously excited about Scorpio. So I did your reading and I uploaded it. And then realized, well, I said a joke in there that I know a Scorpio can handle, but then I realized, oh wait, maybe some of the other people wouldn't really handle that. What are you guys doing? What's going on? What's going on? All of a sudden they're just running everywhere. Hey, 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 it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Is it all good with you, Scorpio? I wonder what your world's doing right now. With these 2 eclipses coming up and how you're going to be handling that, probably much better than other people, but you never know. You never know. I still remember what your previous reading said, and I'm going to take that into consideration because some of your same cards are showing up, as that always happens. But I just know that you guys are able to handle so much more. And even like the joke that I said in your initial reading, Scorpios can handle, but the rest of the world can't handle. I felt so sorry for the comedians during the everybody was being canceled stage. Not that that's not over, but felt so bad for them, especially when we need a good laugh and we should all be able to laugh at ourselves and things and anything. And you guys are really good at that. So let's see what's going on in your world. I'm going to straighten these cards up. I'll be right back. Oh, hey everybody. I just wanted to remind you that we've got the YouTube zombie algorithms, and they like subscriptions, and they also like thumbs up too, because they're greedy and grumpy. So maybe if you could help us out with one of those, that would be great. Thanks. Okay, Scorpio. So here's something that's very interesting. A lot of your same themes came up in this reading, which of course doesn't surprise me at all. And the one thing that's interesting is it looks like you have areas of your life where there's good stuff or things that you're really looking forward to, and then you also have complete opposite challenges, like big challenges, hitting you at the same time. I'm glad you have some balance there. I mean, you have some like good stuff and you're like, I really want this to work out. So let's get into it. So basically, the 2 that came in again and in the exact same positioning, well, together that is. Last time they were in your hopes and fears, and this time they're in your main spot, theme. Let me show you. These 2, okay, so the one thing that came in is there's some sort of a relationship. And I do get that it is something that is, maybe romantic or something with that. The 2 of Cups. 2s have to do with choices to be made and everything. But the last time it came in with the victory card too. And with the victory card, you wanted to have victory over this or victory with this, and it was in your hopes and fears, and now it's right in your center spot. And I shuffle the cards extensively, and for them to come up, and there's 2 separate decks, so for them to come up again like that is always fascinating. You really have to look at it. The one thing that's come through too that I do want to talk about is you have some intense themes, themes that you can deal with, I don't want to say better than others, but on a more regular basis because you're willing to go deeper. And you have the Death and the Tower card that's coming into play, which is endings. The Death card doesn't always have to mean death. Every once in a while it does, but it means endings, complete endings, a natural ending. Now, the Tower card is different. The Tower card, when it comes in, is fast and furious, and you can't plan for it. Even though you may have seen the clouds coming and heard the thunder, still, when the lightning strikes your castle and kind of blows it up, you weren't expecting that. And so you have some Tower cards coming into your future, and you had that energy in your last reading. So what we want to do is we want to be prepared, even though you can't be completely prepared for a Tower card. What it means is that something unexpected will happen, but then when it does happen, you're like, oh, here it is. Okay, let's handle this. Let's do it. The good news is in your cards that are handling the Tower card are upright, good positioning. So you're in a good position to handle it. And, you know, with coming with the eclipses and everything, it's kind of a natural progress. Just like the Death card is a natural progress. You have the Death card over here within your environment. And the last time it was in two separate places, just right in your past of just recent and coming up. So you have these intense themes coming in around you. So within this Death card that's come in, it's kind of reversed. So this one says it's not as difficult to handle sometimes when it's reversed and it's still looking towards the past a little bit. But new projects, new things that you're trying to manifest got derailed because of things that ended you needed to handle. And that just recently happened in your environment. Now, the one thing that's interesting with this kind of relationship sort of card is that you have the Judgment card in these two positions, which is, you know, overlaying the themes, like the main theme, and also in your, like, attitude. And sometimes with the Judgment card and with the Six of Cups that's right here, the thing that's interesting in that is that a lot of times that can be judgment going back and forth, but it can also mean second chances and kind of like someone coming back in your life or wanting a second chance, or the relationship itself has sort of a second chance. There's you know, like a calling. A lot of times the Judgment card can, when you have judgments or endings, you can have a calling. You have a more clear vision of what you would like the relationship to be. So it's interesting that this is in the play of it, because the one thing in your hopes and fears, it is in the relationship area again. And the thing that it's talking about is you have a more clear perception about the relationship. And it means a lot to you because you still have the Devil card there, so it affects you. But when you're not aware of how much something affects you, now, Scorpios can be highly effective. And when you guys get into relationships, like you can go like all or nothing. And you can, when you do want to get involved with somebody, you're like, let's meld together and be one. Or you can be the opposite in life and be like, I'm going to not have any, sustain, no, what's the word I'm looking for? But not have any level of relationships or whoopee or that sort of stuff right now. So you can go to extremes, but the cards that are talking here are talking about a relationship that there's something within your soul that's invested in it. And so there's like a karmic journey. There's something you want to do with it. You want to find the deep answers within it, which Scorpio does. Scorpio always wants to go deep within something and find the true answers and get to the nitty-gritty of it all. So that's something that's important to you right now. And you not only have kind of the Romeo and Juliet Two of Cups here in the center, you also have the Lovers, which is the more advanced Lovers card. And so the Judgment too might be of levels of what you really want to do within this relationship, what they want to do, what you want to do. Because as we go back into the center here, we have levels of the Five card, which this one, intensifies it. 5's always intensified. Turn up the volume. And within the actions, and where you have it within it is kind of like reverse, and it's like not knowing exactly what actions you want to take. So a little bit of chaos here within, you know, to do what within it. And sometimes that's what happens when you have levels of judgment or second, you know, are you going to look towards the past? Are you going to look towards now? Or are you going to look towards what you want in the future, intentions? You know, like what decisions for the actions do I want to take with this? So that's a little up in the air for you right now. You know, and if you're in a serious relationship right now and you're looking at this, the one thing that, let me go back over to here, the one thing that it's talking about is definitely talking about making really critical judgments on things and where you want to go in the future with it. But it's a high consideration to like continue on with this person, but in a new way, in a more matured way, because you've got more answers and more understandings now than you had in the past. Now, it does say, like in the past, you were a little bit more in the fantasy realm and, you know, wanting things to be given and manifested and brought to you. And I don't know if that came to fruition. Sometimes we want people to give to us in different ways. I'm not always saying materialistic, but just to give of themselves, to show that they care. And in Scorpio, you have your particular way. You would like someone to show up for you. And that doesn't always happen. And this one over here in your past, it's saying it's not coming forward in the fantasy that you would like it to be, and that person isn't showing up exactly in the give and take, and it isn't going exactly the way you would like it to be, but it's also saying you're not being completely realistic on that. So that was just in your past. Now, coming into the future, there is that's when we're coming into like the Tower card here. We've got the Tower card coming into the future, going this direction, coming into the future and into the future over here. You've got the Tower card coming in cleanly and clearly, strongly. But what you do have is you've got the Tower card coming in and kind of blows things up, and the people are falling out of the tower and like, oh God, what do we do now? We got to rebuild, or what do we do? It's fast and furious and kind of blows things up. But here's what you've got here. You've got, I want to know, I've got the sword straight up. I want justice. I want to know the truth. I want it to be balanced. You want to make your decisions when these things happen. It's like, what are the facts? Okay, yeah, so it blew up, or, you know, whatever it is, and I've got to figure out what to do with it. Give me the facts, not emotional side of it. Give me the facts. Like if it's something either to do with, you know, like the law or anything like that, you only want to deal with the facts. If it's something to do within types of relationships or decision making, it's just like I'm going to base this on solid facts and not, you know, a whole bunch of emotions and everything. So you're very clear on how you want to handle these things, and it looks like you're going to handle it well. But sometimes, like, we're coming into that season now where things are coming, you know, changing of the seasons, and things are changing, and some things need to come to an end. And then we just need to deal with that, and we have to have partings or rebuildings, or, you know, we have to address it. Okay, so coming into the future, we also have this one in the farther future where you're still having to deal with the Tower card. But you're together. You've got it together. You're going to handle this. You're very whole as a person while you're handling this challenge, and that's good to see. We like to see that, okay? Because this is your world. Your world's not turned upside down, even though usually the Tower card turns it upside down. You are standing strong and stable. What's coming through is you've got a very good perspective on things, and your mind and everything is going to be clear, and you're going to be solid. You're not going to be overly emotional. Like with this relationship thing, you definitely want that to work out, but it seems like you got a good head on your shoulder, even though you're going to be dealing with a lot of challenges. Okay? It does say that in the past, you were dealing with a lot of actions. You were taking on a bit too much too much of having to do too many things, having to carry all the staves and all the actions and all the things you had to take on. But your intuition said, okay, I let this go on so far, and now I can't do that anymore. You're just breaking my back. I'm going to use my higher self, and I'm going to like delegate, and I'm going to let some of those things go that I don't need to take care of, and resituate things. Because it's so true. I mean, you're only one person. You can only handle so much. Sometimes when we have the judgment, and like down here we have within the attitude, we're trying to make decisions. We are trying to make correct choices and leap forward into the future and move forward with, pushing forward with what we need to do to make things happen. So, I mean, it's really interesting. You're very solid in what you're handling, but I'm not saying that it's not easy. Within the Death card and the Tower cards and all of that, none of that's easy. But the good news is you're in a good element right now. You're handling it well, and maybe that's also because you're coming into your season here pretty shortly. It's gonna be very Scorpio season. So maybe it's good for you to be handling these challenges while you're coming into your solid, sitting strong season. Now, coming up in the future, it does talk about also one of your future lines up here. It talks about within your environment and your sanctuary and things that you're trying to get done and how you want things to be, which Scorpio definitely like. Scorpio and Taurus like the things that they like, repetitive, the same, and you know what you like, and you don't mind having the same thing over and over again, or having a certain thing look a certain way. And there's a direction that you want to go with how you want your sanctuary and your environment and things you want to manifest, but you're having a little resistance from people that want different actions, and once again, they're being emotional, and you're having to deal with them. You're going to do well with that, but it's just a little bit of a pain in the booty. Sometimes we've got people going, I think you should do this. No, I think you should do that. And you're like, But yeah, especially if they're enduring the Tower card with you, it's really good for you to, in the Scorpio way, keep your cool the way Scorpio does. And maybe that calmness or showing of calmness, it doesn't mean that you don't have a whole bunch of stuff going on inside. You guys have so much going on inside, but it's amazing how you guys can just be like glass. I mean, you're one of the water signs, you're like ice, you're like glass. And people don't even realize the high vibration level that's going on within inside you. You're feeling a lot. It's such an interesting sign. Amazing. I've known some Scorpios where I was really feeling their energy, and I'm like, I don't know how you live like that. I don't know. That would exhaust me. And even though you look so calm and cool, oh my God. Wow. It's amazing. It's amazing, but intense. Intense. And that's why sometimes people, you're like, I'm not even moving, yet you're calling me intense, because people can feel your intensity, even if you're just stealth and you got these laser beams coming out of your eyes. Anyway, back to your reading. So let's see, we went through basically all of them. Give me just a moment, and then we're going to do like a quick wrap up. Okay, be right back. Okay, Scorpio, in your wrap up, we've basically got this. You've got a relationship, something that is endearing to you, meaning to you, that you're trying to navigate. You have a new perspective on it. Sometimes it's relationships that either have second chances or a second way of being, or a new layer, a level of the relationship where it's matured and you've matured and you're seeing things at a whole nother level. And there's some things that used to have kind of control over you no longer do. It's a kind of a level of growing up within the relationship. So you're trying to decide the actions that you want to take and the chaos within that. There's judgment there, but your intention is you want to have victory with this, over this, and it feels good to you. It feels real good to you. So I'm glad for you with that. You've been dealing with a lot in your life. It's intense. It's intense. It's been intense. You've been dealing with endings and deaths and things of that nature, completions, things, or even deaths to something where it just stops and it got in your way of doing other stuff in the future, and then you had to pick up the pieces over here because you had to do that before you could continue forward. So you've been dealing with a lot of that, and there's more to come. So we're just preparing you. Get your engine raring, get ready for it, because it's meant to come forward for these things to take place and for you to handle them. And it looks like you're in a really good position to handle them. And that means that there's probably other people that are going to freak out about the scenario a little bit more with the tarot card, and you're going to be able to be cool, like glass, and be in your best element, which is wonderful. So you're going to be a leader in this position. It doesn't mean that you don't have a lot going on inside and emotion, but it looks like you're going to be standing strong for others and yourself. Okay, so your attitude's good. You're trying to jump forward with everything. You're not going to let other people with crazy emotional opinions get in your way of making your environment, everything you're doing, come to fruition. They're going to try to, just because they're kind of like a little like a mob of do this, do that, but you're not going to let it get in your way. You're sitting strong. You want the truth. You want the justice. You want to be balanced. You're sitting on your feet really strong. You're sitting as a whole person. You're not unbalanced right now, so you're really in a perfect position to handle all this. Just letting you know, so that when this stuff starts to happen, it's not going to knock you off balance in any way. You're like, okay, here we go. I got this. And you do. And you do. So that is your reading today. And I can't wait to see what your next reading is, to see what happens with the level of intensities of everything that you're handling right now. Wish you well. Talk soon. Mush, mush.